Good evening and welcome to The Scene, the only show in Malta to bring you the very best of Malta. What's on, where to go, what to do and where to be seen.
Each week we'll be bringing you the best venues, the most exciting events, as well as telling you what's coming up in the next 7 days. From gigs to galleries, from festivals to festas, and from clubs to concerts.
We'll be paying a visit to some of the best locations in Malta, whether you're an islander or just visiting.
We're also going to be having a look at some of the exciting activities you can get up to on the islands, from the obvious to the obscure.
And we'll be giving you an insider's guide to everything Maltese and how to make the most of the Maltese islands.
So if you're looking to get the most out of your summer, this is the place to be seen.
Today we're on Malta's sister island of Gozo. We're going to be enjoying a jeep safari to explore the islands, as well as having a go at some quad biking.
Of course, Gozo is the second largest of the Maltese islands. It's only 6 kilometres away from Malta, just over there, and it's 67 square kilometres and only 37,000 inhabitants, which means it's quieter and more rural.
Gozo has 13 villages as well as its capital city, Victoria, and is well known for its scenery and beautiful landmarks such as the Azure Window,
Dwera Bay,
Tachench,
Njorashini,
and the historic salt pans and the beautiful and restored capital.
Gozo also boasts the Gigantea temples, which are believed to be some of the oldest man-made structures in the world.
Fungus rock, which is found just in the mouth of Dwera Bay, is named after the plant growing on the rock, and the Knights of St John believed it was a cure to all known ailments, and if you were caught walking there you were put instantly to death, but turns out it was just a normal mushroom.
Gozo is also an incredible diving destination, with the Blue Hole rated as a 3rd top shore dive in the world. It has caves, caverns, swim-throughs, secret pirates' holes, everything you can imagine. An absolute stunning place to come diving.
So this evening we're going to be exploring the island of Gozo in style on Jeep Safari. Another fantastic part of our Jeep Safari tour here in Gozo is the Gozitan salt pans. Have you seen this? You can actually put this on your salad, Trudy.
Indeed you can. What they do is they get all the salt from the sea onto the salt pans, they let it crystallise, they brush it all into the corner, let it dry for 3 weeks, and then they make this.
Completely 100% natural, no additives, and you can buy it right here on the side of the road next to the pans themselves.
Fantastic. I think back on the road.
Back on the road.
But this weekend has been an enormous weekend for any wine lovers here in Malta and Gozo. And we'll be having a look at Maltese and Gozitan wines throughout the show, as well as finding out what we should be drinking this summer.
Indeed, but first we're heading to Malta's capital city, Valletta, to check out one of the biggest wine festivals that takes place each year in Hastings Gardens.
to the scene from here on Gozo, and we've pulled over at the Taormina Wine Estate and lucky enough to be joined by wine expert Joseph Bonello.
That's indeed. Joseph, first up, I'm not a wine expert by any stretch of the imagination. Maltese and Gozitan wines, they're a decent drink, right? Are they any good?
For sure, yes, of course. I mean, the fact that Malta is right in the heart of the Mediterranean, which means that it enjoys typically Mediterranean climate, which is probably one of the most ideally suited to produce fine wine.
Sure.
So we're right here. Nature has helped us. We have all we need. We have enough sunlight. We have enough wind as well, because wind will help, especially in Gozo. I'll come back to this in a minute. We have all the right conditions. What we do lack is enough rain.
Sure.
And luckily, that is the only natural characteristic which we can correct, because we can
irrigate. Absolutely.
I mean, if there's not enough sun, there's nothing we can do about that. If all the other climatic conditions are not here, there's very little we can do about them. But with water, of course, we can irrigate. We can only drip irrigate. You can see here the irrigation system. So that is calculated by the drop.
Wow.
Because vines don't require a lot of water, and only in particular periods, especially when there's some drought ahead of us. So we can control to the drop.
Wow.
We can actually irrigate 100 drops a day if we like, and that's it.
Sure.
But listen, Gozitan and Maltese wines are relatively unknown. Is there a difference between the two of them?
Well, yes, it's an interesting question, because, of course, there are some characteristics between Gozo and Malta that actually do differ. Gozo is smaller than Malta, and it is slightly farther north, if you like. So it is slightly cooler in temperature.
Sure.
And the fact that it is smaller and the wind effect, especially the sea effect, is much more predominant in Gozo than it is in Malta. We have these beautiful valleys. We have here this Marsovin Valley here, which is literally breathing in cool air, which will calm down the growth process, the maturity process of the vines, which we want to do, because it can get a little bit too hot. So this helps to calm down. Wow. So by night, here is much cooler. We have all these beautiful valleys in Gozo, especially. In Malta, we have a lot of the vineyards that are also a little bit further inland, so they're not exposed to this cooling effect sometimes of the wind, especially by night when it's cooler. It drops down, so we calm down the maturity process of the grapes, which we need, especially with white vines here. We have a Chardonnay here, which we need to have, which needs to have a lot of acidity when it comes to be harvested, and that will calm it down. Will calm down the effect of the sun.
The sea air, as you mentioned, brings a coolness and cools down the plant.
Yes.
Does the salt from the sea make any difference?
Yes, it does.
Wow,
yes,
okay.
It does. There's actually, if you could really actually find some salinity in some of the wines that are produced in Mediterranean climate.
Sure, from the salt air.
Indeed,
the sea air.
Indeed. One of the best.
Yes. Stupid question, but salinity is salt, right?
Salt.
Yes,
Salinity
yes.
means salt, darling.
I mean, you won't really. It will be more of a mineral nuance on the flavor, but you can tell that, and this is one of the reasons, one of the ways one can start by identifying wines from the Mediterranean, especially from a small island like this when we're so close to the sea.
Great stuff.
Indeed, I think one of the most prolific grape varieties that is doing so well, especially in Gozo, is Vermentino. And Vermentino is known to be the variety of the sea.
Right.
And it benefits from being close to the sea, benefits from the salinity. It can take it because salinity can be a little bit harmful on some more delicate wine. So it can take it, and it thrives in it.
But here's the big question. How do Maltese and Gozitan wines compare to wines from other parts of the world?
regions, yes.
I don't really think we should compare any wines to any other wines. The beauty of wine is that it is regional. So each region, each area has its own expression. Whether it is better or worse than any other is really immaterial. Because this is the beauty, again, of wine. It expresses the character of the place it is grown in. So really and truly, I would, and it's not my attempt of evading the question at all.
Sure.
Far from it. It's a matter of taste at the end of it, and a matter of what you enjoy. What you will find in wines that are sun blessed, like we are here, is that wines tend to be a little bit high in alcohol because they are because
Awesome.
the ripeness of the fruit allows for more natural sugars, which will be eventually transformed into alcohol. And they might lack, and this is where we have to be a little bit careful, lack sometimes in acidity, because ripeness and acidity are of course inversely proportional. The riper the fruit is, the less acidic it is. Now acidity is more than just a sensation on the palate. It keeps the wines fresh, it keeps the wines erect and alive. So we need to be careful. This is why people like Joe here, he'll be very careful and we'll be monitoring the maturity process, and the harvest day is selected very carefully, because one day, 24 hours in an August sunlight will make a difference. So they'll have to be very careful to harvest at the right time to keep that high level of acidity which we need, especially in white wines, but in all wines.
So the natural acidity in the grape acts as a kind of preservative.
It does.
Right,
It keeps the wines fresh, it keeps the wines alive, crisp.
like us, Trudy.
Which really...
Yeah, I'm mature.
Yeah.
Listen, Joseph, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I'm looking forward. We're going to talk to you a little bit more later on in the show. You're going to be telling us what we need to be drinking this over the summer.
But I'll tell you one right now, try some Gozitan Vermentino. It is really an expression of the ideal wine for this climate.
Brilliant,
Fantastic.
thank you
I
very
can't
much.
wait to taste it. But for now, we're going to explore a little bit more of Gozo.
Back on the road.
Loving Gozo, it's such an awesome scenery. Look at the view here of all the boats coming into Mjar.
It's amazing. Look at this though. There's this incredible big boat here and all the little ones are going out to it.
I know.
How fantastic. Places. Joseph, tell us, I want to know, is white summer and red is winter?
No, not really. Not really. You can drink whatever you like, whenever you like. So that's the beauty of wine.
Fair enough.
There are some things you need to take care of, really. First of all is the serving temperature, which is crucial. We have a habit of chilling white wines in summer and winter, and we don't chill our reds in summer.
So what you're saying is that it's okay to chill a red?
It's not only okay, it's necessary.
Necessary
Wow.
in the summer, okay.
Any time between May, June to September, if you're drinking wine at room temperature in your home, you have to keep in mind that red wine is ideally served at 18 degrees. Now, even if you have an air-conditioned room going for 24 hours, it will not bring the temperature down to 18 degrees.
Right, okay.
Never. So you will always have to chill it down to 18 degrees and keep it that way whilst drinking, because again, some people chill it, then take it out of the fridge and it starts warming up immediately.
Sure, I mean room temperature in Malta is 35 degrees anyway. So.
In fact, we don't even use the term room temperature anymore,
right,
because it very much depends on where you happen to be. So you need to bring down the wine to at least 18 degrees. One rule of thumb is that the bottle needs to be cool to the touch. If you pick a bottle and you feel that the bottle is...
It is.
Oops, there you go. You almost dropped that.
Yes. I'm too excited, Joseph.
That's right. That needs to be cool to the touch. If the bottle feels warm to your hand touch, then it's definitely too warm for you to enjoy, especially when it comes to red wine, because it disturbs all the balance. The alcohol starts evaporating and you will really not enjoy that wine.
What about the white wine then? Also 18 degrees or?
No, with wine then we can
much
go
cooler.
Much cooler. We're trying to neutralize a little bit the acidity, which is naturally a bit higher in white wines. So what we do is we cheat a little bit, and the cold temperature tends to numb our taste buds. So we're not fully exposed to the entire acidity of the wine, which you would be if you served it at room temperature. You'd feel it a little bit too sharp. But again, you need to keep that wine cool throughout the meal if you're having it with a meal or throughout the evening. Otherwise, it will change.
You can't just put it on the table and then leave it there. You've
No.
got to keep it cold.
No, keep it cool.
But there's no difference for summer. You can drink either red or white.
Yes. What I would suggest.
What about
is
rosé?
Should you ever drink rosé?
The big question. I quite enjoy rosé wines, but they have a particular use, really. They're more of a social drink. They can offer enough body, maybe a bit more body than a standard white wine,
Sure.
and yet be a little bit fresher and lighter than a standard red. So it is a little bit away in the middle, but it's ideal. It's suitable for practically all our type of cuisine, all our chicken, pizza, pasta. It's very versatile. It's a social drink. No, I think rosé should be given more credit than it gets.
So do you have anything here that you would recommend
Yes,
for us
I chose
to try?
4 wines here.
4 of the 400
Well,
that sit here in the
yes,
cellar.
it's quite an interesting choice. One thing which I insist on when choosing a red wine for summer is try and keep the alcohol content low. We have here a Beaujolais Village by Louis Jadot, which is, hold on, 12.5%.
Ah.
That's practically the highest you can go. Higher than that might be a bit too much for a summer drink. This Barbera Dusty is 13.5%. I dared pick it because this would be ideal with food. If it's a bit on the high side on alcohol, then you need some food to be able to have something to chew on for the alcohol.
And what have we got here?
Then I chose a very interesting blend. This is a blend of Pinot Grigio and Torrontés, coming from Argentina. Pinot Grigio is known in Italy, in many regions of Italy. It's medium-bodied, juicy, a bit it reminds some people of pears. The Torrontés is a variety found in Argentina, very floral, citric, nice and refreshing. So it's a really good blend between the two, nicely balanced. And this is a Moscato Dusty by Michele Chiarlo. It's a really soft, easy drinking. It's only 5% alcohol. So this is something you can really sit down and enjoy. It will not tire you out. You'll drink a little bit more of it, but it is something which you can really enjoy on its own because, of course, the lower the alcohol, the less taxing it is on our body.
I want to try that.
I want to try the Pinot.
Are you sure?
So we have some
let's
Pinot.
go.
Good screw cap. So it keeps the wine very close to its original state when it's screw capped, so never bother about this. In actual fact,
Okay, great.
a white wine that is meant to be refreshing would do well under a screw cap.
Now, Joseph, is there a correct way to drink the white wine? It's not just down it.
We normally try through our mouths, really, but just smell it. Smell it first. It's already gratifying. There's a lot of nice flavors there. You can see the floral aspect of this wine. It's very, very refreshing.
Okay, straight for the taste.
You're going straight for the
And
taste.
then,
Alcoholic.
that's the best way. You really to
It's
enjoy it.
lovely.
And we can see some of the copper color in this wine coming from the Pinot Grigio. I can see that on the
Brilliant.
Hang on. This has got lipstick on it. Thank you very much. I'll take that. But this got lipstick as well. You can keep that. Now I'm going to pour myself a glass. Yes.
Listen, Joseph, thank you ever so much indeed for the
You're very
advice. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you for joining us today. Paul,
Thank you.
we have to get back on the road.
Wait. Let's go. So, Trudy, what else can we get up to over the coming week?
My goodness, it's a huge week coming up. Look forward to the Salima Arts Festival, which starts on Friday and is all of next weekend.
We've got Malta Arts Festival, which is on right now and runs through to the end of the month, so make sure you check that out.
And also there's the Jazz Festival to be looking forward to, and that starts on Friday and runs to the end of next Sunday. So that's all from us this evening, but join us on Wednesday when we'll have much more information about what's coming up next weekend. In the meantime, you can catch us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/The Scene in Malta.
Or search for our YouTube channel under Brave Media Malta. Please do make the most of your week, and until next time, ciao.